every age. I was doing it, Diana was like using it, and you certainly can find it useful for your life. So I hope you can get something out of it. And Dominique was supposed to start.
Thanks. I'm sure.
Yeah, do you all see the slide? Oh, you know, you can use that little chat on the side. If you click on participants, then there is the list of all the participants, and yes, yeah, Anna, you see, I see the slides, exactly. So maybe while we are talking, you can use the chat, and so you can ask questions through the chat. And then when we ask, okay, do you have questions? Then we can open the conversation and we can unmute you. Oh, here, Dominique is here with the video. She's gonna call in soon. Hello, Dominique. I wanna unmute you. Hello.
Hi, Dominique.
I see you.
Hello. Oh my gosh, look at everyone. That's amazing.
Yes. Everyone is here.
Yeah.
I think we are ready to start. And they are, do you see the slides, Dominique?
I see it at the top. Let me see. Switch to shared content. There it goes. Okay.
Good. Yeah, everybody can see the slides, right? Yes, awesome.
I hope so. If you don't see them, let us know.
We have a chat. Yep.
Okay, I'm muting myself.
I'll mute myself too. Go ahead, Dominique, you can start.
Oh, I'm starting. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Today, we're going to talk about designing your life. And I'm actually really excited about it because I took this class when I was an undergrad at Stanford as part of the design thinking, product design that I majored in. I think this was, and it might have been one of their first times actually teaching it. And I did find it helpful. So I hope you guys find it helpful. And I think it's good to get started as early as possible as well. So design your life. How do we switch to the next slide?
You asked Diana to switch it, correct?
Okay, Diana's going to be my...
Just Dominique, I need to say something. We are recording this conversation. So we are informing everyone that we are recording. If you are against of being recorded, write it on the chat. Otherwise, maybe we are recording it so you can listen to it or again another time. So we will make.
Yeah, we will share it with the.
We will share it exactly. Yeah. So we want to make it available to everyone.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. No pressure. So the first part of designing your life is understanding where you are now, and it's also crucial to know what's really important to you. And I know like you guys are getting older, and I know like once you graduate high school and you go off into the workforce or you go off to college, you go off to do whatever you do. There's more and more choices, and there's more and more opportunities, more questions that come up that you have to answer, and there's more responsibility that goes along with that. And we just want to make sure that everyone has the tools to really live a life that feels fulfilling and is really true to your values. So today we're really going to start with those concepts so that we can help build a compass. And I am like obsessed with dogs, which I think you guys all know. So I put a lot of doggy pictures in my slides. Hope everyone's okay with that. This is just like, the universe is a big place. Let's get a sense of where we're at before we can figure out where we want to go. And there's a little dog who's ready for safari, and he's got his little compass going. And so today we're going to try and help to put together a compass for you guys to have a tool when we're making decisions and kind of navigating through life. And next slide. And just to kind of give an overview of what the process is going to look like as a whole, the design thinking process at Stanford, it really starts with empathy with whenever you're engaging in any problem, it really starts with deeply understanding the user, which in this case is us, because it's our lives that we're designing. So it starts with empathy, which I think is really important in engaging with ourselves. Because I don't think it was something that I really had when I was going through, like my parents were really pushing me to, you know, be the best, do this, really being like an overachiever, but there wasn't a lot of time for me to kind of sit back and think about, oh, like I really like this, I really enjoy doing this, as opposed to just achieving. And we're also going to do some definitions to help put some words around values that we have and verbalize them and understand them a little bit better for ourselves. And then the next time, because we will meet again, because we would love to see your progress on this, we will ideate some ideas of different areas that we want to explore, prototype those ideas, maybe looking into different careers that we want to go into or different subjects we want to study, and then find ways to test them out. But we're going to focus on those two today. And I don't know what Diana or Julia told you, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to type something in and I'll respond to it. It's kind of weird, like not hearing any verbal feedback and looking at myself flapping my arms wildly around. So at that point, I think Diana is going to tell us all about building our dashboard.
Yes. Can everybody hear me? First of all, I was unmuted and now everybody can hear me? Yes, yes. Okay,
yes,
good.
Yes.
Absolutely, thank you. So following on the concept that Dominique introduced, that we first want to figure out where we are today. And these amazing professors at Stanford, and that's actually, I don't know if it'll show me, but there's this book called Designing Your Life. They teach a class on how to do this, and that's, I don't remember when Dominique took it, freshman or sophomore year. And so it's based on that concept. But the very, very first step is to understand where you are. And a nice way, they really approached it as sort of as an engineering problem. And they put it together in this dashboard. And this dashboard helps you figure out, you know, kind of where you are. And they separate it into 4 areas, sort of health as the foundation. That's one of the most important things that you can have in your life, right? And love is the second most important thing that you have in your life, right? Making sure you have plenty of that in your life. And then play and work go on top of it. And then various people can argue what's more important, play or work, but it's probably different for different people, right? But that's sort of, you can think of it in sort of a foundation of health, love, play, and then work goes on top of it. And so what we will do today is understand how full we are in each one of these areas. You know, is it something that needs attention, or are we completely satisfied with each one of those? And so that's what this dashboard is for. It's like in your car, you have dashboards that show you how much gas you have, or how hot your oil is, or is your coolant working properly, right? So similar idea, but to evaluate these sort of key pieces of your life. And we'll start with health. And so health is sort of 3 key things, but it probably could be more than just those 3 key things. And one is physical, right? If when you go to your doctor, is your doctor concerned about, you know, your ankle being broken, or, you know, are you in good shape? You know, are you exercising enough? And so for me, right, I'm following Dominique's idea of using doggies to highlight this. So this is me with my puppy, on a run at a Zion National Park. So that's for physical health, you know, and I will use myself, for example, in this case. So I feel like I'm in a fairly good physical health, right? My doctor generally doesn't have too many concerns, right? And then there's the mental health, is there something that's upsetting you today, or just in general, do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel like, you're constantly exhausted or under a lot of pressure, right? How is your mental health, And so in my case, I feel in some cases, and as we go through this, overwhelmed. I have a lot of things going on. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe this is not so good, something I should probably pay a little bit more attention to, right? Am I doing everything that I can to help my mental well-being, right? And so then last one, which is important, is this spiritual health. Do you feel like you belong somewhere? And this could be religious, or it could be just mindfulness, right? Do you feel like you have that sort of whole support of yourself? Do you spend time thinking about, what's important to you, and how you fit in the life as a whole? So if I think about myself, I'm like, well, I do really value meditation, and I feel like I don't spend enough time meditating, right? I always feel like, oh, I don't have enough time for it, but I understand how important it is for me. So when I look at my health overall, I feel like, well, it's not bad, but I certainly can do better when it comes to mental and spiritual, health. And that's something I can sitting here, understand this is where I am today, but, and recognize that I could do better in certain areas. So now, next one is love, and this is my wonderful puppy, completely in love with me in the car, especially because she does not like car rides. So, and so when you think about love, you have to think about one, your love towards somebody, but also, do you receive love enough, and you feel like, you're well loved within your family, within your friends, whatever life partners that you have in your life, your pets, do you spend time in the community and you feel really appreciated by your community? And I added nature there. I think that fits well within love. Do you spend enough time sort of in the environment that you really appreciate? It doesn't have to be nature. Some people really enjoy various cities and architecture, right? And so spending time in that space, right? Do you have that love that you're satisfying for yourself? So now for me, if I think about my life partner, family, and friends and pets, I think all of that feels actually pretty good. And my brother is currently living with me, and my mom is just starting to move in to live with me. So I feel like maybe I'm a little overwhelmed by how much time I'm spending with them. So I feel like maybe there's a little bit of personal space that's needed there. And maybe at the same time, I feel like we spend a lot of time, right, addressing, various application forms for my brother. Somebody was talking about FAFSA. We just did that with my brother. So a lot of time on addressing sort of daily activities, and maybe not enough time just, relaxing and sitting in the garden and, drinking tea with the family and friends. So that's something, how I'm reflecting on it. So if I think about love, I'm thinking maybe spending more time, more valuable time with the people that I care about, rather than, time addressing the daily needs. And so now play is very hard. This one is a very hard one. So you have to be critical of yourself, because it's very easy to call things play with them being not really play. So a way that it is defined is activities that bring you joy and they don't have any other purpose. So I will give you an example for me. So cooking, as many of you know, I love to cook. Absolutely love to cook. It's a lot of fun. And a lot of times I get to do it every day, but does that count? It really doesn't count, because I come home from work and I'm cooking for my family, and it really does not feel like play. So it doesn't count, because I'm doing it for a purpose of providing food, right, to get everybody through their dinner, not for the purpose of my own enjoyment. So if you think about, where do I really play with cooking? And that's, when I have time on the weekend, to put a recipe together that I've been thinking about for weeks, right? And then going to the farmer's market and getting all the stuff. So that's play for me. And so if I'm that critical about play, there's only very few things that fall into this for me. So I have a picture of us watching a sunset with my puppy here in Half Moon Bay. Definitely play, right? There's no reason, no purpose to watching a sunset other than enjoying it. And so other good examples that is hard to think about is things like exercise or playing sports or playing, dancing or music, especially when you are in the college application time, right? A lot of the times you're doing these activities to get accepted or have better chances of getting accepted, right? And so they're not exactly play, right? You're doing it for a purpose of achieving something, which is not a bad thing. It's perfectly good. But if you're evaluating yourself and sort of your well-being, right, make sure you're thinking of, if you're like playing volleyball, you're doing it for the sake of playing volleyball because you're having a great time doing it, not for the sake of, I'm a captain of the team and that's going to look great on my application. So, which is good, but it fits in a different location on this, right? So when I'm critical and I'm looking at my playtime, I have very little playtime. So you see that, watching that sunset, that's pretty much what fits into my playtime. Not very good, right? So I know actually on my whiteboard at home, I have a list of activities that I'm supposed to do at least one of those per week to make sure I have more playtime in my life, right? Because that's absolutely essential for well-being. So now we'll talk about work, and I have my wonderful puppies. And I have two of them there because we are often babysit the second one for friends of ours, right? So even though I absolutely love the puppy, it's still work a lot. It's work to take care of another doggy, right? And make sure they have, they're fed and have a place to go and, go for a walk or whatever other needs that they have. So work actually encompasses many things, right? So it's primary job and secondary job. So I work at SLAC and I'm also working on teaching at UC Davis. I volunteer for SAGE, right? And then I have home responsibilities like cooking and gardening, right? And so all of that is a lot of work. And if I think about how much time work takes up, and that's a lot of time in my life, right? I feel completely full and probably should, reduce that some, right? If I'm being critical. So if maybe full is probably an understatement, overfull, right? So when it comes to how much, of my attention work, takes up, especially, when I do all the things that I'm excited about doing. And so, right, so this is my final sample dashboard. I feel like I have a lot of work. Work is everything in my life. I have not enough play to really sort of get myself to enjoy life and, push myself to a better state. I feel pretty good with love and health, right? But there's some work to be done, spending, more quality time with my family and maybe spending a little bit more time on meditation or sort of other activities that sort of help me be in more peaceful state. Are there any questions about dashboard and how to put it together? Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
You can use the chat. Remember, you can use the chat if you don't want to interrupt Diana, and then ask the question, and then we can answer later or as you want. Or you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
I think, Julia, are you next? Or no, it's Dominique.
No, I get to come back. So another tool that you can use to just take stock of where you are in life and what you enjoy, maybe find some more of those play opportunities, is making a good time journal, which just sounds awesome. Wait, Diana, going too fast. So one thing you can do is you can make a good time journal. So this is basically just a bullet journal of fun things that you've done through the week. And you just make a note of what did you do? Just why was it fun? And then we just want to look at how engaged you were when doing that and how energized it was. And from there, we can better understand like why we like these activities. So next slide, please. There's a little dog there helping us to make our journal. So one thing to look at when we look at the fun activities we've done in the week is our energy levels. Does the activity help energize you, or do you feel drained kind of afterwards? Because I know there are some activities I like, well, you'll see my example, where it's like, I really like it, and I'm engaged, but afterwards I'm just tired and I need a rest. And we can also see like where our energy is going and where we're directing it, and if there is a better way that we can direct our energies through the day to make time for play and energy. And then also engagement level. So were you completely focused on this task, or did your mind kind of wander and you found like you were bored? So those are kind of the two things that we're looking at. And then for the next slide, what you're really looking for is this concept of flow. And I think everyone in the design school is completely obsessed with this, and I kind of am too. It's that feeling where you get lost in the task that you're doing and time just kind of flies and you're just totally and completely focused. You just have this really like sense of calm and euphoria, and you just know what's going on. It's kind of like one of those things you know it when you see it. Does everyone kind of understand what I'm talking about when I say flow? Oh, thank you. Someone likes all the doggies. Okay, good. If anyone has a question about that, let me know and I can explain it a bit more. But up next, I think I have an example of mine. So this is my good time journal that I was doing, and hopefully it's large enough for people to see. But on the side is a little dashboard for how my engagement level was throughout the activity and whether the energy, like I kind of gained it, so it was like a positive energy boost, or negative, like it was an energy drain. And there's a little check box for if I experienced flow during it. So what were some of the activities I did over the past few weeks? So I used CAD to design something, and I was totally lost in flow. I spent way more time than I thought I was on it. I had a really good sense of calm and euphoria. I was actually almost late for a meeting, which was really boring, as you'll see down on the fourth line. So that was good. Like I was really engaged and I had a really high energy boost. Like I was ready for anything. And then in one instance, I was kind of going around and checking someone's progress on installing something. And I really liked interacting with them, but I found afterwards from talking to everyone and just communicating different ideas and trying to understand what everyone was saying, it left me drained afterwards. So I was a little bit more tired. So even though I enjoyed it, I was kind of like, I kind of need a break. I need my chai tea latte to pick me up again. And I don't know, it was kind of fun to go through my day and kind of understand like where I was having fun and where I wasn't. You'll see that there is a meeting on there where I was really bored and there was low engagement and low energy. You don't have to put that in your good time journal because it is not a good time. It wasn't a good time for me. But you can also, I guess in the analysis we'll go through, you can also pick apart when you have bad times to understand why you weren't having a good time, which I think is good. And then I also have some outside of work activities, like when I do silks and of course preparing for Sage, which I was really engaged with. So next slide. So once we have our good time activity journal, oh, where do I get this kind of paper with the dials? So I actually got the workbook that comes with the Designing Your Life book, and I did make copies, so I can have Loy send that out to you guys if you want like notebook pages, if you want worksheets to kind of go through all these exercises, we can get that to you. Yay. So once we have all of our good time journals and we kind of know where we're engaged, where we're getting energized, you can go through and pick it apart with this tool that they call AEIOU, all the vowels. So one is look at the activity. Like, what were you doing? Were you leading? Were you leading in the activity? Were you just a participant? Was it structured? Was it unstructured? How was the environment? Where were you working? Were you at home, like at your desk? Were you in a library? Were you in a more open place where people kind of were coming in and out? And how did it make you feel? Interactions. What were you doing? Were you working with people? Were you working with machines? Were you having something new where you didn't really know what was going on? Or was it something you've done a million times before? Or the interaction, was it formal? Was it informal? O for objects. What tools did you use and how did it contribute to your task and your level of engagement? Did it help? Did it hinder you? Was there a better tool you could be using? And then users. Who else was there? Did you have a partner? Were you working in a big team, small team? Did they make it a positive or a negative experience? Go either way. So I think for me, when I was going through, I actually learned quite a bit going through this AEIOU activity, well, I guess analysis. So on the next slide. So I realized that I am a much visual thinker than I thought I was. The activities, I found myself getting into a state of flow when I was using like CAD and ANSYS, which is, like the modeling program, where I was just working with something that was visual. It really helped me get into a state of flow. And I also like communicating information to people. I feel that I think because I tend to lead with visual thinking and then emotional thinking. But putting stuff into words and just figuring out how to communicate things to people and interpret for other people can be kind of draining, even though I like it. In terms of interactions, I work really well with a partner. I don't do so well when the group goes up in multiples. It gets a little bit more draining for me. In terms of tools, CAD really engages me. Writing things down on a sheet of paper helps me a bit more than typing things on a computer to helping me feel engaged. And engagement comes more, I find myself being more engaged and remembering things a bit better when I make up silly stories and involve dogs. So I've just been having my dog sitting like next to me whenever I do any household chores. All right, and that's all I had.
Good. Do you have any question for Dominique? Thank you, Anna, for asking for the paper with dials. They're really cute. Those gauges on the side. I think it's fun to kind of list your activities and say, yes, this, I liked it a lot. That this probably drains me a lot. So that was, that's really, I think it's like visualizing things and using drawing. It's really makes it more fun when you think about what you're doing about your life. If somebody has a question, let me see. Oh, thanks, Dominique. Thank you, Dominique. Yes, of course. Let me start my video because it's my turn about talking about life view and work view. And when I saw that, I'm like, why do I have to talk about the most scary things, life view and work view? That sounds very big. So practically what we have done up to now is like assessing where you are right now. It's like, how is your life, what you're doing, how much energy you get from the things that you're doing. And now, well, since everyone has a direction or a destination, or you want to get somewhere, well, to get somewhere, and we are using now the metaphor of navigating your life. To get somewhere, you need your own compass. You need to know where's the north, where's the south, and set like a direction. So what I'm gonna tell you about is like a set of questions, and questions are really important to, you know, find your own answers. Asking the right question is really important. And I'm gonna show you some of the questions that you can ask yourself to build your own personal compass. So identify what you want out of your life, what do you value, what do you think it's important for you, and which direction to go to reach your destination. And just make sure these things can change during your life. The destination that you want today probably is not the same destination that you will want in 4 or 5 years. So this is something your compass can change. The answer to this question will change. And there are no wrong answers, only your answers. Nobody's gonna judge you. You will answer for yourself, and you have to be true to yourself to build this right compass so you can get to wherever you want to go. And you know, everybody wants to live a very good life. They were like, what is a good life for me? And I mean, a good life for me can be different for a good life for you. So that's why you have to answer, you have to have your own answers to this question. Next slide. So let's talk about life view first. You're like these big questions. That's why this big like topics about what is your ideas about the world, how the world works. I mean, if you start thinking about that, then it's kind of, you know, what do I want to say? So that's why we kind of, well, this design in your life, design thinking kind of make it smaller and ask you really little question that will take you to like answering this big question about your ideas about the world and how it works. Question about what gives life meaning, what makes your life worthwhile or valuable. How does your life relate to your, that's the type of the relate to your family, to your community, and your world. So the 3 questions are, for example, and there are many, I just choose 3. Why are we here? What is the meaning and purpose of life? And what is the relationship between individual and the others? And I'm gonna show you my personal questions. And of course, they will be very different. They can be very different from yours. Next slide. So here we are. Why are we here? Well, from my scientific approach, I believe in chaos and random things happening. So practically we are the results of a big bang, an explosion that happened billions of years ago, and we ended up here in this space and this time. And I feel like that makes me feel very lucky. I could have ended up everywhere else, and maybe it wasn't in such a nice situation. So I really think I always remember that and feel like how lucky I am, and I feel grateful of like being here in this space and time. What is the meaning and purpose of life? Well, what I think is that since we randomly arrived here, our duty is to leave the planet better than we found it and contribute to the progress and positive growth. And what is the relationship between individual and others? Well, this is not always, I mean, relationships are, I don't want to say difficult, but require some effort. They don't go smoothly all the time. So, I mean, the big things that I would like to happen is that everybody bring positive energy in the space around them. And people help, support other people, be present, and do not harm other people. So it's like violence is not one of my example of life view. Okay, so now there is the work view. So something that you do for work, and why do we want to, and then I'm gonna talk about that, and then we will compare life view and work view. So from the work point of view, what is work for you? Why do we work? Why do we have to work? Do we really want to work? What makes good work good? what does work mean? So as soon as I saw this question, I'm like, oh my God, what I'm gonna say? And actually I started thinking about it, and it was very nice to think about it, because then I thought, yeah, it's very nice to go, you're focused on what you're doing every day, you focus on your little things, and it's very nice to kind of step back and say, hey, why am I doing this? Because that gives you the energy to overcome some of the challenges that of course you will find during your work. And I mean, we are saying work here, but it's also studying. You're like, why do you go to school? Why do you go to college? So it's not, I mean, work in a general sense of your occupation right now. And next slide. So these are my personal answer. Just again, you have your answer, I have mine. So I just want to show you an example of how I answer those. Why do I work? The main thing, I was like, I want money, I want a car. No, the main thing is I want to be independent. I want to choose for my own life. And to choose for my own life, I have to have some money, I have to have a car, probably I have to live by myself. So I need to work. And then since I need to work, well, what's work for? Well, I want to express what I'm good at. And that's, I think, is like the joy of my work, is like, I'm good at it and I can do it. And it gives me a purpose, and I feel that I can help make things better. So that's what's work for me. And what does work mean? Well, for me, it's like, okay, I spent a lot of years studying. That was a good investment, because at the time I was like struggling a lot, and my parents helped me a lot from the financial point of view. So I really happy that, that those years were a good investment, and I feel like I'm contributing to the society of advancement. And that's like what work means for me. So now you see, you can answer this work with this question about life view, and you can answer the question about work view. Yes, the next slides. And now what you can do, oh, there's something missing here, sorry. Well, let's, what you can do, can you go back to the work view? Okay. Diana, yes. Well, I mean, the main thing is that you have to compare them. You compare life view and your work view, and see if they matches. And for example, for me, my example was like, yes, they match, but my life view was like leaving the world better than I found it, and I feel like I don't do much about, contributing to, like, not saving the planet, but okay, contributing to like leaving the planet a better place. So like my life view and work view kind of match on something, but they don't match on something else. So it's good to know if you are coherent, your work view and your life view are coherent or not. And you make an assessment and you say, okay, my life view is completely coherent with my work view. And that's, I mean, I feel like everything is in harmony. Or you can have, your life view is not really matching your work view. And there might be different reasons. There might be, I need to work now, I have a family, I need to, support them. Okay, my life view is not matching my work view, but for the moment, that's okay. It's important for me. Or you can say, okay, my life view is not matching my work view, and probably I need to do something about it, because in the long term, probably I will be frustrated about it. And next slide.
Oh, Julia, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ah, great. Well, I was going to say that it's also nice to talk to others about your life view and work view to get feedback. And I was going to give Julia feedback, about her feeling like she's not making a difference in the world and making it, leaving it a better place, right? I mean, we work on Sage, and I think that leaves the world a better place, right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I meant from the like more environmental point of view.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I understand.
From that point of view, I'm like I recycle. I try to walk instead of using a car. But it's like I would like to do something a little bit bigger with a bigger impact. That's my next goal. Let's say. Yeah.
And so after you went through this exercise, right? It's something you realized only after going through exercise, and not something you understood before that, right?
Absolutely. And that was like, I felt like those were big questions, but then, all those some of the questions look similar, but then you answer slightly different, and you kind of get the entire idea, the rounded idea about, what you're doing, why you're doing, what you value, what you don't, what's important for you. And the coherence, a harmony between life view and work view, I think it's very important in the long term, because it will tell you how much satisfied you are on the things you're doing. And I mean, if work it's something that you spend a lot of time on. So it's something that, kind of define how you live your life most of the time. Okay, let's go to the next slides, because I want to kind of recap everything we went through today. So you saw for Diana that showed you her dashboard, and it's kind of an assessment of today, how you feel today. And Dominic showed you how to do the journal with those icons, how much energy you are in. Are you in the flow? Are you tired after? Dominic, there was something else. There was energy, flow, and there was engagement, I think. Yes. So that is to understand better why and how things affect you and make you feel a certain way. Because, if all the list of things that you do during the day, every day, drains you of energy, don't give you any, you're not engagement, in the long term, you're going to be very tired about it. And maybe, your body will tell you, hey, I'm done. I really do keep on doing that. So it's good to assess your situation. And then on a bigger scale, you need to set your direction. You want you want to reach a certain destination, you set the direction. And we use the compass and the metaphor of navigation, because when you have a destination and you navigate, the path is not always straight. You will have to turn east. You are going north, but you will have to head east because the wind is not right. You will have to head west. You will have to go back because there's a storm. You will have to navigate in the fog. So there will be a lot of things that kind of there will be sun, and you can navigate straight to your direction as well. So I mean, there will be a lot of situation, but having a general direction and towards your destination always help sailors, going towards the right direction. And this is, I mean, we have an hour. We didn't want to, overload you with information, but this is not all of it. It's like an assessment of where you are now and what you value now. There are many other way to kind of build your path and kind of try to figure out your direction. And we would like to talk about that in the next Sage Live session. And we would like to, hear from you also and see if, doing these 3 exercises, figuring out your dashboard, your journal, and life work views help you kind of assessing where you are right now. Because it's always good when you are going somewhere to figure out first where you are and then setting the direction. Okay.
you can redo it every year, right?
Absolutely.
How you feel.
Yeah, yes.
How you feel today will change how you feel in a year, and it could be even every month. If something that happened that changes things significantly, going through this exercise is useful. And so when you go from high school to college, or as you go through your last year, you might do this a couple of times just sort of to understand yourself better. So this is, not a single time exercise.
Yeah, and it's okay for all those changes to occur.
It's
totally fine.
Totally,
totally normal. And I will say too, one thing I forgot to say was it's also helpful to understand so that you can explain it to other people, whether you're talking to colleges, internships, doing any kinds of interactions, like, hey, this isn't going so well. I think I need this kind of environment. Can we go work here? Or, hey, this isn't happening. I need to use a pen instead of typing something on a computer. It's just helpful to communicate what you need.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also, knowing what you value in work and life. It's also important for your interviews. It's like they will and the choice of which work, because you will have a lot of jobs that comes up, and it's like, do you really want to do this? This gives me a lot of money, but my life view is completely the opposite. Do I really want to do that? Or at the end I will feel miserable because I'm doing something that is completely against my values. So it's very good to be self-aware of what are your values and what makes you feel good. Okay, I actually would like, so you can share your thoughts and dashboard and journal life view with us. Absolutely, we are open to listen to you and read what you have to say and write. And we would like to understand if you have questions, or if you saw one question that really, or something that really hit you, and you know the answer, and you want to share it with us. Jam, yes, I feel like this would actually help us just to take things slow first, as to better understand what we want and where to start. And will also help us not to feel overwhelmed. Absolutely. The fact that there are many questions is like kind of making small steps and trying to understand how you feel right now.
Yeah.
And this structure, like it's like a big thing, and you structure it and you make a small step. It's really important.
Yeah, if we want to just have everyone can turn off their mute. If people would just want to talk in, we could just have like a little chat sesh with questions. I just want to know how everyone is. I've missed you.
I know. Well, we can go. We are not many, so we can actually. Oh, Loy is saying it does help.
I think it definitely helps to have a trusted person to test your self-reflection. It just helps having a trusted person to talk things over with and to make sure that you're being true to you and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, that's absolutely a good point. We're not many, so do you want to share what you think about? I don't know, I picked the first. Addison, Ashley.
Sure, I can share something if you want.
Yes, Anna.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, so first off, thank you so much for this presentation. I think this is really going to help me organize things and my thoughts. I just wanted to share one thing, you were talking about at the very beginning how professional development was helping us, and I just thought currently me and Janavi actually are working on meeting with the board and trying to get a field for robotics at our district. So that's one thing that really helped us gain the professionalism to do that. Yeah.
That's
and also
awesome.
I totally agree. Thank you. I also totally agree with Dominique. She said she felt flow when she was catting and doing visual stuff, and I totally relate to that. So yeah.
Yeah. It's actually really cool. Me and Anna have seen each other every single week since Sages, because we started a collaboration between our robotics teams. And just last week we presented to the board, and all the public speaking skills, and don't fidget when you're standing straight.
That's great.
Yeah, so we used that, and it was cool.
Yay, I'm so proud of you guys.
Yes.
Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Updated. Let us know. We really would like to know how this experience is going.
Mm-hmm.
Addison, Ashley, do you want to share something? Something that resonated with you? Something that is like, oh no, I really don't want to do it.
Or any questions?
No.
I guess I can just talk about like
Oh, Chelina, hi.
Hey! I'm so excited to see you soon.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you guys are like near Cupertino or Monte Vista, you should come to the Student Union, I think next Saturday. And we're gonna have a diversity in STEM symposium. And Dominique's gonna be there, I think Michelle's gonna be there. Sarah is gonna be there if you job shadow with her.
Jelena, are people from outside your school allowed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
okay, so
everyone is allowed.
Can we share the information with all the Sage girls?
Sure.
Yeah, that would be great, because then in that case, yeah, we are gonna tell everyone, and if they can come down or let us know that they come down, that would be great. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's a great idea. Do you want to say something about what you discussed today?
Oh yeah. And then I think Diana's part about like doing something that's fun and doesn't have any other purpose. It made me realize how many things I do like for fun that are actually like double fun and work at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, oh, I really enjoy that. I really enjoy it. It's like a game for me, but finally I have to do it because of this and this and this and this. So it's a kind of losing its playfulness a little bit. Totally, yeah, totally relate with that. Sorry, it's a little bit confused. Chiara, Lisa, we really would like to hear from you, ladies.
Hi.
Who else is on?
Hey, Lisa.
Hi. So I just got back, and I think what I really got from this video chatting was the fact that you can integrate work and life together, so it's a cohesive bond between the two, and that if you adjust the level of one, it can always be it's a really good way to think about your life as not one extreme, and not like, don't make it so extreme so that your life is always full of work or full of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really absolutely.
But yeah, thank you so much for the insights. Yeah, just like everyone said, I think this is a great experience. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. We're very happy you enjoyed it. Chiara, you were going to say something? Thank you, Lisa.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Okay. Hi.
How you doing?
Good. I miss you guys a lot.
Chiara is from Sage 2018, so yes. I heard from you.
Yeah, I think throughout the presentation, I think I was reflecting on a lot of things that I do, and I realized that there's some things that I have done for play that have basically at this point when I'm applying to colleges I realized that they could also qualify as work where I could use them in my college app. So yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's good though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, absolutely. So play can sometimes feel like work with a bad connotation, but sometimes it's like, hey, I can use it. I'm mastering this game and I can use it for my, for my
How many people
work.
sorry, Julia.
No,
How many people are looking at college applications now? I have to remember where everyone is. Okay, I don't know how to see everyone's video, so I see Shalina, I see Lisa.
Yeah.
Is it nerve-wracking?
Yes.
I hated it. I was so nervous the whole time, like essays and all the, and I don't know, all
Look,
the
everybody
standardized
wants to
tests.
say something about it now.
Yeah, I
see
know they do.
everybody
Go ahead, jump
It's
in.
really stressful. Yeah.
Jam is really stressful. A little bit at the time,
Yeah.
Enjoy the, the journey.
What's most stressful for everyone? Is it just the writing?
Essays.
The essays?
Yeah, the essay.
Essays are
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Honestly, for me, the application isn't as stressful, but like the fact that I'm gonna like have to decide in like 5 months, you know.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
That's
So
what's stressful to me. The applications are like kind of stressful, like overwhelming, but like in less than like 5 months or something, I'm gonna know where I'm going for like the rest of my life.
yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, get used to that. You will have a lot of unknowns during your life, and this is the first one probably. I mean, it's I hope you can have a lot of. I mean, they will accept you in a lot of schools, and then a lot of colleges, and then you will have finally the choice of where to go. I mean, because that's something that you want to have control of your life. I totally understand that.
But yeah,
Marito,
it
you
seems
wanted
like
to say
such
something?
Oh, who am I cutting off?
I saw
I
Marito.
was going to say two things about college applications.
All right.
One is think about if many of you feel stressed, try to understand what is stressing you out, right? Is it the unknown of where you're going to go, or is it the process of writing the essay and you don't know what to write about, right? What specifically, or is it the fact that you might not get accepted where you want to go, right? And then if that's the case, why is that? Is it because it's a cool place to be, because it's like whatever in California or New York, or is it because there's a major there that you really want to go to and you won't be able to actually do that, right? Try to understand what specifically stresses you out, and that can help you manage that stress, right? Then you can be like, oh, if this is really what I care about, then I should focus on that, because stress is a good indicator of what is important to you, right? It's not, and the other thing, and so that's number two, is we have evolved as humans to have this stress response to something that's very important, like survival, right? And so if you think about stress not as a bad thing, but as a way of reflecting to how environment affects you, it's actually a very useful tool, right? You can be like, oh my God, it's really difficult to talk in front of a lot of the people, but why is it? Is it because you're afraid of being judged or not knowing your content, right? Like, just if you are very specific about it, then it's kind of a neat trick you can learn about yourself, right? And so don't stress about being stressed, if that makes sense. Use it as a tool to help yourself guide what is really important to you, and how can that help you either get to the right college that that actually fits you. And then going through these exercises can help you write an essay that that reflects who you are, and probably makes it a little bit easier, not as stressful, to talk about what's important to you and why you should go to this college or why you should do this major, and how your background prepared you for this. So I don't know if that's a helpful way to think about it, but just don't let the stress get to you.
If you can. I know that's a really hard thing to ask.
Yes.
I felt the same. I was like, are they gonna accept me? Where am I gonna go?
It's a really big transition point.
The good thing is probably they are all good opportunities, like all good choices. It's like there's no one that is worse than the other. You pick your schools and you will have good experiences in every single one. So that's what makes it feel less a little bit less stressful. It's like, you know, sometimes in life you really have a lot of good choices and that's a good place to be. So we really hope that you will, your application will go through smoothly and you will get accepted and you will have a lot of choices. I really hope that for you. Ladies, do you have any other questions for us? Let's see, can we share this presentation? What do you think, Diana? We can share this presentation to the participants. So if you want to think about it and share, you know, your thoughts, or if you have questions about it, if you want to use it, and maybe you have a couple of questions, then you can certainly write us or contact us, and we will be happy to answer. And there's more about designing your life, so we can certainly schedule another Sage Live. And if you have any topics that you would like to discuss with us, that's also something that we would like to hear from you.
We could absolutely have a wine and cheese about college apps.
Wine and cheese. Lemon juice. And
wine, as in we're whining about it, like complaining.
Okay.
I would never suggest.
Why am I thinking about wine? I don't know.
Underage drinking. Julia, how could that be?
Well, so what we were thinking about is a couple of things. One, we'll share the slides. Two, we'll share the Zoom recording, so you can hear us talk about it if you would like to hear certain sessions again. And then three, we were talking about having the next Sage Live in January, end of January or beginning of February. And that will be, how do you connect where you are today to get you towards the balance between work view and life view. So that's sort of our next goal for the next Sage Live. You know, how do you build that path? And so that's sort of what we have in mind. You have other topics that are interested, you know, that we could talk about. So last year we talked about interviews and preparing your resumes, and we have recording for those. If you are interested in seeing that, I think we can share that with the Sage Girls from 2019. So those were the two last year's Sage Lives. So, and if there's other topics you want us to cover, send suggestions. We'd love to do that.
I have a suggestion, actually.
What's up?
Yes.
So I want to do some sort of internship next summer, but I don't know where to look or how to look, or like if high schoolers have like good options, I guess, for things that I might want to be interested in doing. So I'd really appreciate some guidance on that.
Yeah, that's a fantastic topic. I think that's on a lot of people's minds, like trying to get an idea of what different career paths could and will be. Diana, what do you think?
What we're going to do next time, right? And that could be a follow-up on, you know, how do you really search for internships and jobs, right? It could be a summer job as well. We could cover that as maybe not the next one, but the following one. If there's interest from everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop shaking your head. Okay,
yes, we've got some. I'm sorry, guys. It's so weird to only see like 4 boxes of like people talking. I don't know if I have it on the right setting or what.
Oh, you can resize your big box and you can see everybody.
Yeah.
Where? How do I do that?
If you put your mouse over the edges, and it'll just drag like you would make a box bigger on your screen.
It's not happening for me. I don't know. We don't need to spend time talking about this.
There is another question.
It's okay.
There's another question. Is this day and time work for you, ladies? Saturday morning, what do you think? I mean, it's only on weekend because during the week and in the evening, probably you all are busy. But I don't know, let us know if you think, you can write it in the chat if you think this is a good time. Yeah, that would be, works for me, your fun, yep. This time is great, perfect. That's good. Yeah, so we will try to.
Dominique.
What? No, I was just, I'm just responding.
That's good. That's totally good. Okay. So you will hear back from us, and what we would like is that to hear back from you and how's it going, and if you are struggling with something, let us know so we can help. And we'll share the appointment in Monta Vista next Saturday. So yes, so you can all come, and if you have time to come and join us there. And it was great to talk with you all, to hear how's it going. It's good to see some of you as well. It's very good. Get it. Next time you can use your phone so it has a camera, and then we can see you all. It will be very nice. And well, we talk to you soon. And yeah, we have our Instagram, and we try to contact you via email. I don't know if it's working that well, or we'll try to send some messages through your WhatsApp group somehow. Okay, so if you don't have any other questions for us, I think we can leave the meeting, and have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
We're all wonderful
Bye
people.
Bye bye. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.